Here we are on location in Ontario, California for this week's Ask Ron. And I'm here with Ron and the infamous wolf couple. So question number one is from David Jackson in Ohio.
Hi, David.
He has a question about bankruptcy.
Don't file.
No. I don't think it's about him filing. His question is, what do I do if the seller on a lease-to-own deal has filed for bankruptcy? They are taking money from her every month until she pays $14,000 of her mortgage to the bank. Who do I pay if the bank is getting paid from the bankruptcy?
You're going to have to ask your attorney that, because that is case by case. And it depends on what stage the bankruptcy is in. But you do have a legal binding contract. The bankruptcy court can't just ignore it. But the bankruptcy court has pretty incredible powers. They can kind of do whatever they want to do. So you're going to need to get a lawyer involved. And you've got some seller liability there too if they mess up the deal. So this is why I would much prefer you get the deed rather than do the lease option.
Get the deed or get the door.
Yeah, your interests are not protected as well, obviously, if you don't have the deed. And my recommendation would be making that payment directly to the bankruptcy trustee, depending on how this is set.
I wouldn't make the payment at all until my attorney tells me where to make it.
Yeah, each one of these things, like Ron says, is going to be set up differently.
Yeah.
And once your attorney determines this, but I would not send that payment to the seller and expect the seller for sure to be paying that trustee. So that's the one caveat.
Bankruptcy court will prohibit that seller from collecting that payment.
All right, the next question is from Fernando in Connecticut.
Hi, Fernando.
And his question is about land trust and 1031 exchange. Fernando says, I own a condo and want to sell with seller financing. I cannot rent, so lease purchase is not an option. I plan to transfer the property into a land trust, then sell the beneficiary interest to the buyer. The buyer will make payments to me for 5 years and then would need to refinance. The down payment, $30,000, selling for $160,000, amount subject to capital gain tax, $90,000. His question is, do I need to do a 1031 exchange?
Well, first of all, if you're going to sell the house, there's no reason to put it into a trust first. That accomplishes nothing. Deed it from you right to the buyer if you're going to owner finance it. If you want to do a 1031 exchange, you can do that as long as you put a paragraph in the purchase agreement with the buyer that you intend that you may do a 1031 exchange. You've got to get that in the agreement. Then you got to have an administrator hold the money that you get out of the down payment. Don't forget that. If you do an exchange, you don't get the money. It goes into their escrow account. And you have 45 days to name 3 properties, potential properties to buy, and 180 days to close on one of them and to make it affect a 1031 exchange. However, if you're going to sell it with owner financing, I'm not sure whether you should even do an exchange, because you're going to get taxed on long-term capital gains, I assume, if you own it more than a year. But you're only going to get taxed as you receive the payment, and only on the principal part of the payment that is gain, and I'm not going to explain that right now, but you're going to get very small tax until, of course, they pay you off. You said your capital gain was $90,000. I don't believe that's true. I'm not sure where you got that money.
No, I can't figure that out.
So I don't think that's true. That might be what the buyer owes you, but that's not the capital gains. Capital gains is your profit. I doubt you made $90,000 profit on that deal, so there's a misconnect there. You can sell with owner financing on a 1031 exchange, but your intermediary's even got to hold the note. You can't even hold the note. They have to hold the note. And then you can sell the note, and they collect the money, or they can just keep collecting the note. But you need to talk to an intermediary on that one and let them clear it up for you, so then you'll know exactly what to do.
Yeah, you know, my question too, go back to the core decision. Why are you selling on owner financing? Are you trying to get more money? Do you think you can sell it for $160 and if you sold it straight for cash, you could only get $140? Or I'm just wondering why you're not just selling for cash. If you're just selling it anyway,
well, maybe he doesn't want to sell it for cash.
Yeah.
That's not really the question here. He's worried about
Yeah.
paying taxes. And he can do a 1031 exchange and not
Yes.
pay the taxes, but it has to be handled right.
Right, and if you wanted to do a 1031 now, if you just sold it outright for cash, if you could get the 160, then you can put all that money into a 1031 immediately.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Actually, that's a good point.
Yeah.
All right, question number 3 and the final question for this week's Ask Ron on location in Ontario, California at the Quick Start Real Estate School is from Lukman in Texas, and it's about mortgage value. And he says, can I put a property under contract if the seller refuses to give our Eagle VA the loan amount, but the ARV is more than the asking price?
What?
Okay.
You got to call the seller. You got to get the loan amount. Any seller that won't give you the loan amount as a seller, you need to.
Whack 'em.
Any seller that won't tell you the facts you need to make a buying decision is not somebody you're going to want to work with long term. I can tell you that right now. Now, I can understand they don't want to give it to the VA, but it sounds to me like you haven't even talked to the seller, or you would ask them what they owe. And that's your responsibility if the VA can't get it. But no, you don't want to do a deal where you don't know what the seller owes.
A lot of times, guys, the seller just doesn't understand why you're asking it. They only think in terms of a traditional sale,
Right.
where you're going to get a new mortgage and pay them off, and so long as their mortgage is less than what they're asking, they're fine. And that's what you're saying by saying that the ARV is higher than what they're asking. That has nothing to do with the mortgage amount. So you don't know if they owe. Technically, if they don't reveal this mortgage amount, they could possibly owe more than what the house is
You don't
worth.
even know how to structure the deal if you don't know what the underlying loan is. You don't even know what the payment is. And you're only going to make the seller the amount of payment that they're paying on their loan.
Yes.
So get the facts. Like, why don't you and I do a role play here?
We'll do it with Lynette.
Okay,
She's
you and I
better.
do a role play.
Okay, I'll do a role play.
Okay, so you're the seller and you're giving me a hard time about giving me the loan amount. Okay, what do you owe?
Well, why do you need to know that?
Well, because I buy houses either with owner financing or lease option, and either way I'd have to know the loan amount to be able to figure out if I can buy yours or not. What do you owe?
Well, I owe less than 100,000. I'll tell you that much.
Well, are you interested in me buying your house?
Absolutely.
Well, I just need the facts so I can help instruct an offer to buy your house. Are you not going to tell me what you owe?
Well, yeah, I owe 80,000, but it's not assumable.
Okay, well, I don't intend to assume it, so that's not a problem. What's your payment?
It's PITI. I'm at 420.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay. Guys, if you're a little persistent, they're going to give you the information.
And if they don't, you're telling you you're not going to buy their house.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, they're either a seller or not a seller. It's pretty simple. Well,
All right, well then that concludes this week's Ask Ron.
That's all?
That's it, just the 3 questions.
That's all you guys got? That's the best you can do?
I know, they need to submit some more. We need the questions coming.
You better get some questions in here. If you don't have any, make some up.
Well, there's no way that they know everything.
And don't forget to tell us what state you live in when you send us the questions and your name, right?
Yep.
Yes.
And I'm going to ask you one more time, and that's it. Are you registered for the summit yet?
Oh my goodness, it's
You're
gonna
out of
be-
time. Out of time. Get registered. RES 2018. Get down there to see it. We're going to have a blast.
Oh,
It's
it's
gonna
going
be
to
so
be
much
fun.
Gene
A lot of
Simmons
cool
and
stuff.
oh my goodness.
All right.
It's,
And they're even roasting us, the wolves.
but they're going to be nice.
Oh, no, no, no.
Ron said he was going to be nice.
I mean, he'd be nice.
Nope, nope, we can do whatever we want.
I've
I mean,
been
there's
bawling before I leave the stage.
But Ron!
All right. Okay.
And bring the leads, guys. Bring
All
the
right.
leads so we can
Bring
make you some
leads to the
money.
summit.
Next week. This concludes this week's Ask Ron from location in Ontario, California at the Quick Start Real Estate School.